Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Now, to kick up, Exxaro recently outlined its strategy to move towards decarbonisation as part of its climate change response. Can you tell us about the developments there?
Well, Exxaro needs to be credited with being so far-sighted. I think as a coal mining company, it has seen the future so clearly, and it has worked on it so well that you get the most interesting things happening now. Because they already have a renewable energy company, Senergy, within their group, they can then use Senergy to decarbonize their coal mines. And that looks like a contradiction, where you've got a coal mine and they're going to decarbonize it. But what Senergy will do is that instead of that mine being supplied from electricity that is generated by burning coal, it will receive its electricity in renewable form, in solar-powered form. So already that gets like a 35% credit in that the carbon footprint is reduced. So you've got a coal mine and you've got a company that's in coal mining able to quickly reduce the carbonisation because of the long planning well ahead, where it's got to know this renewables industry well now, that it's already producing wind energy in the Eastern Cape. It's already doing things with renewable energy. And because it is a coal mining company and understands coal mining, it can now go to all the other coal mining companies and can go to all the mining companies and help them to decarbonize at a time when we need speed on this issue, because we are one of the most carbonized societies in the world, because Eskom is our main supply of electricity. So we really need to be innovative in coming down this carbon curve. And I think the one that's showing us the way is Exxaro.
And Fields and Sandvik have teamed up to trial a battery electric vehicle underground loader at South Deep next year.
Yes, well, this came out first in an Australian press release, which I quickly picked up because I thought, well, look, if the Australians are going to get ahead of us on this decarbonisation, we better find out why. But in actual fact, they weren't getting ahead at all, because this particular agreement between Goldfields and Sandvik, although it is going to manifest itself in trialling of electric vehicles, battery electric mining vehicles in the Goldfields mines, St. Ives in Australia, that's also going to happen in South Africa at South Deep. So we're very much abreast, and Goldfields is really a company that wants to make sure that it keeps the decarbonisation way up on its list, and that it fights this climate change and goes green. We know that it's already going to generate 40 megawatts of power during the day, sun power, at South Deep, which is west of Johannesburg. But it's also now going to trial, in the same way as the Australians, a battery electric vehicle, a loader underground. And that vehicle will come out next year, and it will be exhibited at the Electromining Show. And then thereafter, it will be trialed at South Deep. They are wanting to do this very exactly because, they've got an existing fleet of diesel vehicles, and they don't want to have to remove these and replace them with something that is ineffective. So they've got to do this very, very well. But at the same time, they're keen on reducing those fumes for people who work underground, which is very creditworthy.
And lastly, Martin, new research shows Glencore is the leading major mining company in transition metals.
It's interesting to see how quickly mining companies can react to the realities of the world. We always associated Glencore with coal. I mean, they're the biggest seaborne coal carriers in the world. They've got a big trading operation. They've got more merchant fleet than the Royal Navy. I mean, they're really set up. But you can see now that when the world said carbon must be removed in order to save the planet, they have capped their coal very, very quickly. They're going to deplete their existing coal reserves. They're not going to sell them off which in a way is a protective device because you never know who they're going to be sold to and what the people who buy them will do. They will deplete as fast as they can. And you see them now moving very strongly into elevating their position, in copper, in cobalt, in nickel, and in zinc. So it is not a surprise that Deutsche Bank Research declared them a leading green metals company. And it's happened like overnight that they moved from coal to becoming a supplier of these green metals. But you can see when they show you the contribution to revenue coming up, copper is going to really be the big thing. And you can see coal going down to 19%. And the researchers describe the coal as a mineral of the past. But they say even a mineral of the past can give you short-term benefit. And we can see that some of the coal prices are really good. And that's understandable because there's a concern around supply. But other points that other analysts gave Glencore was that they're not big in iron ore. Now, that is really surprising because if it was this time last year, probably anyone with iron ore would have been credited with really being in a good position. But it shows you how fast things change with that iron ore price now plummeting really below the $100 a ton level from a high level of $230 per ton. And it's so quick that these things happen that it's interesting to see the analysts having to do research all the time to put companies into categories. But Glencore, they've put into the green category quite firmly.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.